Chapter 325, Soulstone, Ethereal Sword God Technique. Outside White Snake Cave, two graceful women were taking a stroll. One of them was voluptuous and charming, with a graceful figure. She was dressed in white and exuded an immortal aura and demonic ki. She was especially enchanting. She was the demon venerable by Yuer. One of them was tall and slender, and her eyes were like autumn water. She was also dressed in white, and her aura was cold and ethereal. She was the ghost spirit Bai Zhaoqin. Sister Qin, stay with me in peace first. Young master will definitely be fine. Don't worry too much. Bai Yuer held Bai Zhaoqin's hand and they looked like sisters. It was hard to imagine the huge difference in their cultivation levels. Sister Yu, is Elder staying here during this period of time? Bai Zhaoqin appeared curious, but she was actually testing the relationship between the two. He did live here for a while. Sister, don't think too much. Young master probably felt that it was safer here, so he asked me to bring you over. Just as Bai Yuer said this, she raised her head in shock. A golden sword light tore through the sky. After realizing who it was, she smiled and said, "Young master, you're back so soon." In reality, she had just left with Bai Zhaoqin when the Sky Demon Saint had escaped. The battle had not taken too much time. After I got away, I immediately went this way. I should have given you a communication talisman, so that there was no need to run around. Song Shi's voice came from the sword beam. He landed on the ground and a handsome man walked out. His temperament was masculine. He had sharp eyebrows and starry eyes. His muscles and bones carried divine light, making him look spiritual and otherworldly. His entire body seemed to have fused with heaven and earth, carrying a unique charm. Bai Zhaoqin was dazzled. This was her man. He was too outstanding. Song Shi opened his arms. "Zhaoqin, come and hug me." The latter blushed and ran over lightly. She happily bumped into Song Shi's arms and said shyly, "Elder, you don't have to pretend anymore in the future. The way you address me as elder is a little old-fashioned. Call me husband in the future." Song Shi said, previously, when he was in the Heavenly Ghost sect, he had used the identity of the blood-robed old ghost. In order to deceive others, he had asked Bai Zhaoqin to disguise herself as a maid. Now there was no need for her to call him elder in the future. "Husband, husband." Bai Zhaoqin buried her head in Song Shi's arms. She was really embarrassed. Song Shi lowered his head and looked at Bai Zhaoqin. The more he looked at her, the more he liked her. This is how the first woman he liked should be like. Although she was not alive, he was very satisfied. My old man has good taste. Now that my identity can be revealed, let me bring my wife home. Thinking of the old man who had arranged an engagement for him with Bai Zhaoqin, Song Shi wanted to visit him for the first time. Bai Yuer was envious and boldly asked, "Young master, can I call you husband too?" "Not yet. You're not qualified enough. When you get pregnant one day, I'll give you the status of a concubine." Song Shi refused without hesitation. In his heart, Bai Yuer was not even comparable to Liu Ruxue. "I will definitely work hard." Bai Yuer was not angry. She knew that her situation was special. Unlike Bai Zhaoqin, who had her parents' orders and had an arranged marriage with Song Shi. As long as Song Shi gave her a chance. She changed the topic. "Young master, I got the children to prepare good wine and spiritual fruits. Rest first." "Yes, let's rest for half a day, then let's go home and visit our relatives." Song Shi hugged Bai Zhaoqin's waist. The latter was as light as a feather. It was not that she was thin and weak, but her soul was very light. He estimated that Bai Zhaoqin weighed less than half a tael and could be blown away by a gust of wind. "Husband, are we going back to Silken City?" Bai Zhaoqin leaned against Song Shi's chest and asked. "Yes, you're my wife. I have to bring you to meet your family." Song Shi nodded. "What do I have to prepare?" Bai Zhaoqin immediately became nervous. "What's there to prepare? Go back and walk around. Just get to know my family." Song Shi chuckled and came to the underground palace. The Snake Clan's maidservants had already prepared a table of fine wine and precious fruits. He casually grabbed a fruit and tasted it, feeling exceptionally satisfied. If not for the Sky Demon Saint, he would already be able to do whatever he wanted in this world. Before the Sky Demon Saint recovered, he did not need to care too much. He could just play to his heart's content. Xiaoqin, I'll give you a piece of clothing. Song Shi took out the dust-avoiding robe that he had drawn. These special Dharma artifacts were just right for Bai Xiaoqin's level. For example, he was now using nomological power to change his clothes. Ordinary Taoist robes could not withstand intense battles. Thank you, husband. Bai Xiaoqin couldn't bear to put it on. She realized that the clothes could change color and style at will. So she immediately changed it into a white gauze dress, looking pure and beautiful. While Song Shi was resting, he had nothing to do. He opened the lucky draw panel and drew the remaining 2 draws from the previous 10 consecutive draws. He still had dozens of lucky draw chances, but he did not use them casually. The main reason was that he did not lack anything. Most importantly, he felt that the grade of the item he drew would increase with his strength. He had not drawn it after advancing to the nascent soul realm. He wanted to try and see if there was anything good. Ding, congratulations on drawing 100 high-grade soul stones. Ding, congratulations on drawing the Ethereal Sword God technique. The 2 items were not ordinary, so Song Shi checked them with interest. Soul stones, special cultivation resources similar to spirit stones. They are produced in special worlds like the Netherworld realm. They are specially used to cultivate the power of the soul. Song Shi looked surprised. This was the first time he had encountered a treasure that could be directly used to cultivate the soul. The power of the soul was spiritual strength. Usually, when one's spiritual strength was strong, other than devouring other people's souls, the only way was through ki refinement and soul transformation. Now that he had additional resources to assist him, not to mention that it would be much easier for him to break through to the soul transformation realm, even Bai Xiaoqin could obtain benefits. He looked at the next item. Ethereal Sword God Technique, the method to become a god with sword intent. After cultivating it, one can condense sword intent into a sword soul. In the end, sword intent can become a god. A sword intent can destroy gods. Song Shi was shocked. This was actually a sword intent cultivation method, and it was even systematic. It was unlike the inheritance left behind by the ancient sword sage who had only figured out this path. Good stuff. From now on, my 3 legs can walk together. He was pleasantly surprised. Humans had essence, ki, and spirit. Essence represented the physique and ki represented cultivation. The spirit was the soul and primordial spirit. It corresponded to the 3 paths of body refinement, ki refinement, and spirit refinement. There were cultivation techniques like the imperishable golden body and the Akalantha body for body tempering, the pure yang scripture for ki refinement, and the 9 yang divine technique for essence ki. These were all top cultivation techniques. In comparison, the yin visualization, which cultivated the power of the soul, seemed to be a little backward at this moment. It was lacking a cultivation technique. It feels so good to cultivate with the soul stone. Song Shi directly took out the item. The Ethereal Sword God technique turned into information and surged into his mind. The soul stone was a purple-black stone with a mysterious aura. When Bai Xiaoqin saw this, although she did not know what it was, she instinctively felt a desire for it. I'll give you 10. You can absorb them when you cultivate. Song Shi immediately took out a portion for Bai Xiaoqin. This soul stone was high grade and contained a majestic energy. It was enough for Bai Xiaoqin to use for a long time. Young master, could this be a soul stone? I heard that it's extremely beneficial to soul transformation cultivators. Bai Yuer was knowledgeable and actually recognized it. The more she looked at it, the more shocked she became. Isn't this thing almost extinct? Young master can actually take out so many. It's too amazing.